begin tonight with breaking news, the countdown to President Trump's historic summit with Vladimir Putin. Good evening, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Vargas. We are just hours from critical talks at a U.S. military base in Alaska, a state that was once Russian territory. Remember, Russia sold Alaska to the United States to pay off debts from the Crimean War. Well, now, 158 years later, the U.S. is trying to sell Putin a plan to end Russia's current war, which has also racked up massive debts. Trump's meeting with Putin is expected to start at 3:30 Eastern Time tomorrow in Anchorage. White House officials tell NewsNation that the president will be joined by Secretary of State Marco Rubio and White House envoy Steve Witkoff. Trump says Putin wants to reach a deal, but he admits there's a chance of failure, even putting it at 25%. Of course, that means Trump thinks there is a 75% chance it'll be a success. The president says he'll know very quickly whether the Russian dictator is serious about ending his war in Ukraine.
We're going to find out where everybody stands, and I'll know within the first 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, or 5 minutes, like we tend to find out whether or not we're going to have a good meeting or a bad meeting. And if it's a bad meeting, it'll end very quickly. And if it's a good meeting, we're going to end up getting peace in the pretty near future, okay?
Now, if it is a good meeting, President Trump says he'll schedule a second one that includes the president of the country Russia invaded, Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky. And Trump hopes that could also happen in Alaska.
The more important meeting will be the second meeting that we're having. We're going to have a meeting with President Putin, President Zelensky, myself, and maybe we'll bring some of the European leaders along, maybe not. I'd like to see it happen very quickly, very shortly after this meeting. I'd like to see it actually happen maybe in Alaska.
Over in Russia earlier today, Putin met with his top advisors at the Kremlin to prepare for tomorrow. He praised Trump for his efforts to reach peace and said there is a chance of a deal, but one that directly involves the U.S., not Ukraine.
Current American administration, which, as everyone knows, is making, in my opinion, quite energetic and sincere efforts to stop the hostilities, stop the crisis and reach agreements that are of interest to all parties involved in this conflict, in order to create long-term conditions for peace, both between our countries and in Europe, and in the world as a whole. If, at the next stage, we reach agreements in the area of control over strategic offensive weapons.
Now, those strategic offensive weapons he's talking about there are nuclear missiles. Putin has repeatedly threatened to use them during this Ukraine war, and analysts say offering a nuclear deal with the U.S. could be Putin's strategy to push off punishing sanctions and buy Russia more time. Let's go right now to NewsNation's Kellie Meyer, live for us in Anchorage, Alaska. Kellie, the stakes could not be higher. Set the scene for us there.
Yeah, and it is one beautiful scene here in our nation's last frontier, but it could be President Donald Trump's last chance for peace if this meeting goes poorly. And critics are already saying that the whole thing is pre-baked Alaska, saying that the president is going to cave to the Russian leader. Now, this will be the first time the two are meeting face to face in about 6 years, and the first time the two are meeting since President Trump returned to the White House and since Putin's invasion of Ukraine. It's also Putin's first time on U.S. soil in nearly 10 years. President Trump was asked today if Putin holds the cards, and he responded, well, he's coming here. So Trump sees it as a win that Putin is coming to him. But critics say he's already giving too much away by allowing him to come to the U.S., even issuing a waiver from his Treasury Department to allow him to land because of current U.S. sanctions on Russia. There is speculation that President Trump will give Putin access to Alaska's mineral resources to incentivize him to end the war in Ukraine. Here's what the president had to say about that earlier today.
We are going to see what happens with our meeting. We have a big meeting, and it's going to be I think very important for Russia, and it's going to be very important for us, and important for us only that we're going to save a lot of lives.
And tonight, Elizabeth, we're hearing more from the Kremlin than we are the White House about just how tomorrow is going to play out. Russia's state-run media tasked reporting that the first meeting will be one-on-one between Trump and Putin, then 5-on-5. We're also told Rubio and Wickoff, two key negotiators, will be at the summit. And then we are expecting a rare joint press conference, so all eyes will be on that. It will be the first one since Helsinki in 2018, when Trump defended Russia over claims of interference in the 2016 election. And then we were over at the joint base where this will all be held tomorrow. And of course, already under close watch and extremely tight security. Elizabeth?
Yeah, I can only imagine the security up there. Kellie Meyer, thanks so much, reporting live from Alaska.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.